Oh, I say that I just got started uploading the last video to YouTube here that I just recorded, and this little moment I'm gonna kind of show a few other things. I mean, I will tell you all, I got the first part of sanding Joseph done, after I finished the last video before I started this one, and kind of think it's just kind of a good way to get some work done, and that's kind of how I just see it. And I'd say for one other little moment where coming back on here, and we've got a little bit more to show and a little bit more to do and a little bit more to say and to know, and really show just how much we have a way of doing as much as we can. And as of this moment, you see that there are certain little steps we have yet to take on Mary. We have yet to carve in the back of her little coat here, so we're going to take this chance and kind of do away on that. Try to get her a little more carved in, I'd say. And I tell you, would be so nice just to kind of have some little extra nativities, but there's probably that one I already have that had a few years. Think I'm going to take it down to Frankfurt for the artisan market, and think it's going to be a really good, valuable thing there. It's going to give somebody an opportunity to see what I can make there, and probably give somebody a chance to contact me in the case they might be interested in getting any more of those. So I'd say that this is just the work that I have in my hands and can always just really enjoy. I'd say as for the last part, we're going to try to move along here, take care of her little place where we make the little cuts, try to show what it's going to be, how it's going to come, what it'll be like when we all get done with what we're doing here. I say Mary is just one creature that's like the mother of Jesus, and I say, there's places in life where I struggle, and I wanted to tell you all a little thing I read. I was telling you in a previous video about Manny, who died about 3 years ago. Didn't find out about it until recently, but he was the owner of that woodworker's place where we used to go to carve and meet for our guild. And I read a little thing in the article in his obituary recently where they talked about how because of all his struggles to get jobs, he started that business, and it was good for him. I can tell you all, sometimes for me, even hard jobs can be hard to get because of the ways I struggle in life. I have my own limitations, and that's why it helps me a lot to try to, do some business work as well, just to try to reach out and help many more people, reach out and help many more in need. And I mean, I tell y'all, I hear some stuff about what some of these managers are like in some of these places, and not too much we have to say, because I hear how they can be, and sometimes they can be kind of hard for some people, but some of us are really limited as to what we do. And then there's things I hear, so kind of got to keep quiet about them, because it doesn't help to come on a public channel to talk about the world and what the world does and what people's situations are like. The world has its boundaries, I say. It all does what it does. I come across this thing where, you know, we sometimes carve the very top of Mary's shawl to kind of see where you see all these little sharp corners. We carve them away just like we did on the top here, make them a little more flat planed at the top so they'll kind of look a little bit more etiquette and neat, and probably look a little bit more like she has a curved top to her head rather than a square top. So kind of make it so we work along this aisle here and finally get a place or two a little more to the sides and make it so she's going to come out so much better, and finally get her at the top. That's how she should look in the end. Got a little ways to go with these little steps as well. Make the ways along them and carve her so her sides are a little more flat, and making it where she's going to be one little character above all things. I say this is how she's going to be, and try to give it away as it comes and goes. But I say work shall take its toll on us. We shall see a little brighter days and nights. Bless us all indeed. Oh, the work, it comes and goes. Think since we got done with her, there's another little step we'll take. Think since we have worked on these shepherds a bit, it might be a moment when we might kind of see what the next step to take on them is here, and maybe it would be little interesting things where I guess I'd see the same little step on those. It would be to kind of, well, for one thing, I'd say let's kind of work on these hands here, kind of get them a little worked out in here and see how they're driving away lots of sins and sorrows. And oh, I say that's how they come. You know, this shepherd, it has one hand on top of the other here because you're going to drill a hole through the middle and make a place for the little staff, and am thinking I might just go back to using little twigs to make the staves, because that'll be the best way to come along a little side of work that we need and see how it's going to make its way out, and see what's going to happen when we drill through another little hole. And this is how I've gotten the hands so far. We've got to got to take the curves or the points out on these other ones here as well. Work our way around them to see what they're going to do. I say this little time working on this stuff, I say brighten days and nights of glory in God and all these things. I say it's just little things in life where we haunt ourselves and haunt many others and take little work to where it has to go. And as you see, we kind of work our way down and make these little hands and how this comes along. And one little thing we do across the top is carve the same step we do for Mary around the area where the top of the head is, and kind of get the little work done into the figure to make it stand strong, be a great wooden statue for us all to see and to look at and make little ways out of, I say. And there's one thing missing. We're going to take care of the same little step on this other as well. Try to work around it. Make these little lines just the way they need to be. And I'd say, you know, sometimes when you get a knife sharp enough, it'll make the carving so much better. So much to learn over time. And eventually, just got it all down. So there might be a little sanding to come along for these as well, but since we've already kind of used the first grit on Joseph, I think we're going to kind of take it and the next grit down and work it around the rest of the way. Make it so it's going to be able to get a little nicer rustic look, a little nicer, smoother look, to see what he's going to be like in the end when we work our way about all this stuff that we do to make it so we see a little grace go in him. And this might even be the thing where with these other pieces we might not need to start with so much of a large grit as we did for him, because some of the other pieces are a little less detailed and kind of got a little bit less work to go in them. So, and I'd say that especially for something as simple as Mary, it might be easier or simple just to have a piece that's good enough, no matter what grit it is, and try to work our way down to making her so she ought to be what she ought to be, and kind of like sowing what we do, sowing seeds in the morning and the evening, letting not our hands be idle. I say it'd be nice in time to have more nativities than these come along, but I've got other little pieces that I'll be making into other sets, so it's going to be a little ways that I will work along to kind of make some different little sets in different ways of different kinds, and oh, how the work shall show us what we do, how it is, what it makes of us. And oh, like work has its ways of doing us so good in life, and how we all see brighter days, brighter evenings, brighter times. Oh, the work is coming along, making it so we're brightening up the little things in life. So with all this work, I say, it shall make its way down to what we need it or want it to be. And so I say that as for a little time in life where we work so hard to make things the best, we always want to know that we always want to give the Lord our best. We want to use our best gifts for him. Sometimes, you know, we have to learn what our best gifts are. Might have been the years of my life when I tried to do music and discovered it hadn't been my best gift, but had plenty more to use. Learned about it over time, and I'd say as for a little art, that was probably what I discovered to be one of the bestest gifts I ever had. Coming along this way, showing what we have, showing what we do. Oh, I say art is artistic, you know, and we kind of got the way that we do about things where we make things simple, make things neat and clean, and for all we know, it's just going to be the little work of art that we do to make it all seem like it's going to be better and better and better. That's why the Bible says to stir up the gift of God that is in you. Make it all evident, all that your qualities are improving, you know. It's just how we show who we are, what we do, and make it so we see the best qualities we show of all things. And God uses different people to do different ministries in different ways. And I'd say no matter what kind of ministry He puts us in, we're all saved by the same sacrifice. We're all washed in the same blood of Jesus. And there's all kinds of things we know that we don't need to know what happens in life, whether it's for the good or the bad. And you know that there have been many men of God throughout history, but we know that we sow grace in our hearts, grace for God. And I mean, you know, I ain't never been called to do the same things that some other people have, but this little ministry I have just of carving wood and sewing animals is one in which I've been truly blessed. Blessed to know what this world has to give and what I have to offer, and how it all just shines a light in the way that we see things that's truthful and merciful, and all the things where everybody has a certain need we see. I say that this is just one little work of art we do for ourselves and for many others. God can call us to different places at times of our life, be doing different things, but come to know that this is where a little more work takes place, sometimes on one piece, sometimes on another, but I'd say that it's going to be just as good, for all I've been told, many places, many things, by many different people. Oh, and as you see a little ministry being done here with wood, it shows us that there is one God and He's in control of all things. He makes all things new, the heavens and the earth. There's going to be a new heavens and a new earth to come, and no sin will enter it, only those whose names are found in the book of life. This is just where we work along, making it see how we make our ways. We do these things for others as well as ourselves. Profits are good. Profits come easily. And as for all things, I say, we got to put a little work into what we do. To the work, we are children of God. Let us labor the path that our Master has trod. I say that there's just some things that make a lot of sense when you really look into them a little further, and this will be one of those things that the future has to hold for all of us, for all the best of us. And it'll be one thing that shows in our lives for ages and centuries. Even after we're gone, there's going to be a lot of changes we might make, but we may not live to see them. It'll be just the way that God just works so mysteriously. I say, as for a little time in life, when we work our way around little things, we make it so it comes in. Oh, the little things I say in life glow like they do, glow like glitter. But everything that glitters isn't gold. You kind of learn that over time in life. There's always a lot that have to be said to morals and things that have to be taught and have to be preached. And You know, there's been a lot of fables and sermons. I've heard a lot of those, and all the things people said and done that they make statements about throughout all the history and all the work and all the things God has done in our lives. And turns out Mary is turning out a little rustic here, but where I kind of drew that little M down on her and the J's under Joseph, I've had to sand those off as well, just to kind of get rid of them. I use those things like that just to tell me who the pieces are and what they are, so I'll know what to carve into them. But this is as far as we've come along on this. May come back and do a video where I'll be ready to show a little demonstration of the mangers and work a little into them, talk about little random things while I work on that. But I'd say yes, for now it is time to end this video. So of all things, last but not least, I want to say thank you for watching and God bless.